And to round it up, I'll be going next, and I'll be covering the other one of the other hyped up series of the season, and arguably
The good
this
one.
is a good cop version, but this is probably the most hyped non-sequel series of the season. I think bar
Solo
none, right?
leveling? Hello.
Solo leveling. Fuck you. But this is Delicious in Dungeon Meshi. Uh, this is done by Trigger, and obviously, it was started out as a cult favorite. It kind of blew up as a manga. It got the anime again. It was by Trigger, and everybody was just like everything's kind of coming together. And now it came out again. It's I believe 24 episodes have been released or have been announced total.
Yeah.
Netflix
Yeah.
it was under Netflix, and 12 have come out currently. And yeah, this is again a manga original, or written by, or sorry, written I guess and drawn by sorry, the Ryoiki, I believe. Ryoko, sorry. Ryoko Kui, who did stuff like Ryu no Gakko wa Yama no Ue. So the Dragon Academy is on the top of the mountain. Seven Little Sons of the Dragon, and Terrarium and Drawer. So this other final one, the Dungeon Meshi one, is the one that really kind of popped off. This
Sorry,
did end
Spire.
last.
I don't know
Yes.
what dungeon meshi is. Don't you mean delicious in dungeon?
Yeah,
Just
Delicious in
so,
Dungeon.
just so it matches the D and D. Get it?
Yeah, yeah. It did this manga original did end in September of last year. So if you guys want to check that out again, you guys can buy the raw volumes or whatever online or wherever. Um, a lot of money and a lot of subcontractors went into this. The staff role, if you go on
Yeah.
to Anime News Network,
It's fucking huge.
the staff role for this is some of the largest that I've seen for any like standard kind of anime. So obviously, again, with continually ongoing series like Naruto or Bleach or something like Gintama or Pokemon and stuff like that, obviously there are huge lists, right? Because there are like five different major studios working on it at any time, and everybody's kind of chipping in, right? That's one thing. This this is like comparable staff role, and that is very, 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 very rare for um like a 12-24 episode series. Even something like Chainsaw Man, I don't think had something like this, like
No,
a staff role
I
like
don't
this.
think so.
Like, yeah, it's a huge freaking list if you go down. There are so many 2D like animators that are listed here that are coming in, or like key animators and like in between animators that are coming in from a billion different subcontractors. It's amazing. But yeah, it is mainly um being led by what is it? Sorry, Trigger Animation. I believe a lot of the 2D uh in between key animation stuff like that is being helped by obviously a bunch of the people from the other subcontractors, but mostly people from Inspired, I believe. A lot of the color editing kind of stuff is being done by Wit Studio, and a lot of the special effects animation and stuff like that is being done by Graphitica. So a mixture of studios. A lot of these, you should know. Which studio you should know? Graphinica, Common, 2D, so in between animators, second key animation, stuff like that, studio, so on.
It's funny.
So yeah,
I think Wit doing the coloring is like it gives this show, I think, cuz you know how Trigger has like a very um distinct style, right?
yes, yes,
Um
yes.
but I feel like this show kind of dodges that just by the
It
nature
kind of reminds
of
me of Osama ranking.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
It
the
does
Wit
have a
Studio.
more like storybook kind of vibe to it.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
yeah, it's very
So which
nice.
is definitely nice. Yeah. So the main core team of like the lead directors and the lead animators is mainly Miyajima Yoshihiro as the director, who did um, a lot of like storyboard and episode direction under Trigger and some other studios. But his most famous main like directorial role is doing the being the director of the Dynazenon movie. So under Trigger as well, and helping out a little bit with a lot of like the episode direction, I believe, for Little Witch Academia, again, also under Trigger. And I believe what Miyajima did ended up doing was he brought in a lot of the Little Witch Academia crew and some of like the Gridman like universe crew that was underneath Trigger.
Yeah.
Again, because a lot of the there was a lot of draw from subcontractors and a lot of draw from like kind of um these like smaller crews like the Little Witch Academia crew and some of the Gridman stuff. A lot of these names are relatively newer uh faces in the industry or people that have not had as much experience. Um so obviously they've worked a lot, most of these people have worked on like at least like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 series, but they're not as like prolific as like the a lot of like the big like names in the industry. So it's a very interesting combination. Again, the core is still the Little Witch Academia kind of people, especially people like Ueno Kimiko, I believe, Little Witch Academia, who did help with the script and series composition. Some of like the music and stuff, like the unit director like Shimahiro Yuichi, I believe, also worked on it. And also of note is the music, like the OST, the BGM, stuff like that, is actually done by Mitsuda Yasunori Mitsuda, who, if you guys don't know, was um sort of the original OST creator of stuff like the Chrono series, Chrono Trigger, stuff like that. The Xenogear, like the original like Xenogear stuff, Shadow Hearts. Um, I believe he'd also did like the Inazuma 11 OSTs. So he's a
Never heard of
good.
any of those.
Yeah, none of these games strike a chord with me. Sorry, I don't JRPG. But yeah, if you don't know this guy, you should. He is a very prolific and very famous uh kind of composer. He introduced like doing like ballads and stuff like that into a lot of these OSTs. He's a very, 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 very good and again like a prolific composer. So pretty solid staff overall. Again, kind of just bringing in that core Trigger team in. Uh, of interest also is the voice acting cast. I would say it is very interesting because the supporting cast has a couple of pretty, interesting names: Tomita Miu, Takahashi Rie, Hayami Saori, Hirose Yuya, stuff like that. But out of the four main characters, so the more four main characters that make up the main cast, Shochuk, Senshi, Laios, Marcel, only really Senboki Sayaka would be what I would consider to be a modern, current, like a A-lister or near A-lister, right?
Sorry,
So
Spire. I don't know any of those names. I only know the English voice actors.
yeah, I
Now
apologize.
list off the English voice actors. They're pretty well known.
I forget what was the. Let me I actually have it. Actually, never mind. I might have the names here. Do I have the English voice actor?
Should.
Yes, I should. Yes. So the English voice actor, yeah, it's like Emily Rudd, Songwon Cho, Damien Haas, and Casey Mongillo, right?
You know who Emily
Uh, s-
Rudd is?
I feel like I do. Think I've seen her name before. Oh, okay. So it is Nami in One Piece. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah.
Who's
So
Sung Won
the
though? He sounds familiar.
yeah. So a couple of famous names in the English dub, but I think it is interesting that by contrast, the Japanese names are not as famous. So Tomari Asuna as Chilchuk, the sort of Shota kind of thief. She has done like a lot of supporting Shota tomboyish voices, sometimes leaning into like a sort of like rough and tumble One-san roles, but she's never had like a really big like main cast role until now. Uh, Nakahiroshi as Senshi, the dwarf, the cooking dwarf. Again, he has had a lot of supporting old character roles, like GG roles, but his sort of most famous role, if you can even call it that, is like Aramaki Daisuke and some of the Ghost in the Shell OVAs. Um, Kumagai Kentaro as Laios, the sort of main like knight character. He did Theo and Grand Crest Senki, and he did Handawi in God of High School. But again, out of the four, I would say probably Senbongi Sayaka as Marcial, the female elf like wizard, is probably the most famous of the four. And even
Yeah.
she, I would say, is probably not right now like a really obvious full A-lister like a Yuki Aoi or a
Yeah, I mean
Takashi Rie or like a
she's not like making huge
yeah.
waves. I mean
Obviously,
she's
she's done very famous roles like Haru in Beastars.
yeah.
She did the main character in Girlish Number. She did her breakout role was the Chronicles of the Going Home Club, one of the characters in there. She did Watanabe Sarasa in Kageki Shoujo. She did Anchor in Clockwork Planet. So she has these roles. Again, most notably, I would probably say recent one is Haru in Beastars, right? Um,
Yeah, but
but
she's not
it's
getting like
like
huge roles like back to back to
yeah,
back.
she's not like an Ueda Reina, she's not like Uesaka Sumire, and this is not like a negative like light on her. It's just saying like the number amount of role that she's getting recently, right? So it is very interesting that they brought in this cast, and what is notable is they do fit. Like she Kumagai, Senshi obviously, and Tomade, they do their roles very properly. And I would say Kumagai's voice, being very like standard kind of male protagonist, stable voice in Laios, does help with the flow. Um, but I think Sembongi really, really helps carry the more comedic kind of dialogue that Marcial requires because Marcial sometimes in anime series, in anime direction, voice, sound direction, there are one or two characters that really need to nail it, right? And sometimes that voice is obvious, right? It's like in Medaka Box. What is the voice that's most important? It's Medaka, right? And sometimes in for instance, in this season, Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, the most important voice I would say is Rose, right? The teacher, the kind of like rough and tumble teacher that needs to do everything. Um, and in this one, it is absolutely, I think, Marcial, right? Because she needs to do that like curious voice, the female voice, and then she needs to do kind of like the tsukomi like, oh, I'm not gonna eat that monster. No,
Yeah, I
fuck you
mean,
kind
I
of
feel
thing.
like Marcial in Dungeon Meshi is kind of like the backbone
The
of
heart.
almost
Yeah.
all of the comedy, right? Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
she is kind of like um the butt of the
She
joke
she's
for
the
pretty
Yeah.
she's
much.
the Sukomi of everything.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
pretty much
exactly.
like
The
I
straight
don't really
man.
want to say, I don't really want to say like the heart of the party because like
Mm.
pretty much all of them like, you know, bounce off each
The
other very
heart,
well.
the spirit of Dungeon Meshi, I think,
Yeah,
is yeah.
because I feel like if you
The
like if you don't
spirit, the
have,
spirit of Dungeon Meshi is Laios. Spy, what are you talking about?
I
He's
don't
the
know.
one who's meshing that dungeon.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like if you don't have Marcial to like, you know,
She's
to like
definitely the straight man. Yeah.
yeah, to like
Yeah.
create like comedy out of the stuff that Laios is making, like you don't
Yeah.
have Dungeon Meshi. You know what I mean? Like it,
And
because
her
otherwise,
evolution is also kind of like
yeah,
the
yeah.
core of Dungeon Meshi. Yeah.
Because without Marcial, it's kind of just like it's just a cooking anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just cooking trivia, exactly. It's like, um, yeah, I 100% agree. So it's like she's so important, and I think again, Saka Senbongi as well as I think Emily. I've heard like a few clips of her doing Marcia. I think she
Yeah, she
does
does a good
well too.
job.
Yeah, and also shout out to the German dub of the Marcia
Yeah,
that went viral recently,
yeah,
done by Magdalena Hoffner. She does a very good job again, like in the initial where it's like, eat this. It's like yada yada yada, and it's like
yeah.
and the German dub is like nine nine nine
Nine
nine
nine
nine
nine
nine nine.
nine.
Yeah, and it's again, I think they did a very good job in selecting auditioning and selecting these voices, and really goes to show you the power of how choosing the right voices, having the voice actresses slash actors doing these right voices at the right time can really liven up an anime proper. So, great job for all the language voice dubs for sure. So, going quickly over opening ED, I would say the opening theme is Sleepwalking Orchestra by Bump of Chicken. The instrumentation was quite nice. I wasn't particularly
it's a
impressed
hot
by the
take.
overall composition.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
not
not.
crazy over this OP.
I mean, it's a
I
So
agree.
it's a
you're saying
it's a bump of chicken OP.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
see,
yeah.
like
It's a
the
very
problem
standard
is
tune.
that I hate that this song in particular is like, hey guys, this is a bump of chicken song. Okay, now you're just gonna get sacked by like a fucking like bard really quick, and he's just gonna go ham. Like
Yeah.
that
Like,
one,
you're
like
saying
those
it's not
like
as good.
that first tune that like it begins and ends on. Like
Mm.
I just envisioned like a bard, but you know, like that fucking the wearable like band bullshit, like that gimmick thing or whatever, where you have like, have you ever seen that? It's like
Oh,
the
where they have like the harmonica strapped to their
yeah,
neck
the
and stuff.
harmonica strapped to their neck. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's got
the
like the
drums in
horns on
front.
his
Yeah, I
shoulders.
just imagine like a bar just like charging in and doing that really quick, and then they're like, okay, now fuck off. Now it's time to go back
I would have
to the bump
almost
of chicken song.
yeah, I would have almost liked if you guys have heard Maki opening season 1, just like going full out like J rock boy band kind of thing. I think like that would have been an interesting
I mean,
twist in terms
I
of like
think
how
like
the
what they
theme would
were
have been,
going
but
for could work
yeah,
with Bump of
yeah.
Chicken and everything. I think it's just a matter of like it needed to be the instrumental needed to be more apparent, like more of a thing, and also
Mhm.
it needed to be more of like not exactly what you would expect from Bump of Chicken, and like I guess like a more like acoustic style thing or something for me at least to
Mhm.
make it work. Like otherwise, it's like I like the Bump of Chicken song. I kind of wish it didn't just randomly decide here's some bard instruments. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're saying
It
it's not
was
as good as Creepy Nuts?
yes.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think it is. No, I think it's
Damn.
a song
Mashley
that
just
just.
keeps winning.
Yeah. So unfortunate for the opening theme, the ending theme being "Party" by Ryoku Oshoku Shakai. So this is like a much more like standard anime AD, but I do appreciate kind of like it was almost like a picture book like illustrations at the end. I kind of do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, the visuals are
And that was
really
pretty
nice.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was pretty good. I think overall audio visuals are um very good. So it's like there aren't a lot of like, like like kind of like frames of animation outside the base action scenes that need it, especially kind of near the end when they're doing a lot of like battlings. So even in like the food porn scenes, although like what I will say is that those don't really need that much like 60 frame per second kind of level of animation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's like a lot of those are kind of just like bubbling, kind of frying stuff like that. So the having the still frames, having like the general like animation and the base like main frames, those like having those down solid are much more important than like the in betweens for stuff like food porn for sure. So it was very good all around, even if it wasn't like like 60 frames per second UFO table, like Saku kind of stuff. Uh, OST also very very solid, not destructive, good. Like festive medieval orchestral edition. Again, as expected of Mitsuda Yasunori, very good. So
So you're
audio
saying it's not as
visuals.
good as Kenji Kawai? Damn.
Kenchikoi is a very hard hurdle, bro. You can't. This is not like a rap battle kind of thing. I can't pit those
What's
two
your So
together.
so it's not as good as one of the most prolific composers in the
And
industry. Okay.
famous,
What's your
yeah.
favorite? What's your Guess we favorite should. Kenji Kawai song, Spire? And you can't
OST.
pick your top one. You can't pick your top
Wait,
choice.
wait. Kenchikoi, what
What's the best Kenji Kawai song? You can't pick your top choice.
song? I don't
Or
know about a
OST.
song.
OST then.
Yeah,
You can't pick your
but you
top one.
can't. I can't pick my top choice.
No.
I have to pick my second one.
Yeah, what's your
Hell yeah.
top? What's your top OST, but not your top OST? Yes, Fire.
Yeah. I was about to say Ip Man for Kenji Kawai, but
That's fair. I'll take that.
yeah. But if it's not or if it's not Ip Man, it would probably be Death Note, right? I would say. But yeah.
Your top one being a unicorn, by the way.
It's a unicorn.
So it is written. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it not unicorn? Were you lying to me last time?
By Kenji Kawai?
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Hiroki Sawano, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's probably the correct one. I'm sorry. Is Fate Stay Night.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So going back again, I have zero qualms about the audio visuals. All of it was done, as should be for Dungeon Meshi, and the food porn obviously is great. The action and like the animation required for the action is where it needs to be. All of like the pictures and stuff like that are, you know, improved versions almost of what is done in the manga, and like stuff like Merciel's face and everything. Great. It's just you know, done very, very, very well. And it's again going above and beyond, which is what an anime should be. It should go above and beyond the original source material where possible. So, um, that was that for audio visuals. And going over the plot summary very quickly, I'm just gonna do like a TLDR. You know, Laios and Marcial and Chilchuck uh, are going along with a uh, party to do like dungeon crawling. Laios and his little sister Farin are all in the party together, along with Marcial and Chilchuck and our other party people. They go dungeon crawling. They meet up with a red dragon. A lot of people get killed. Laios, Marcial, Chilchuck gets spat back out, while Faline all apparently gets eaten by the dragon. Um, the other party members, except for Laios, Marcial, and Chilcha, kind of leave, and they're just like, "Oh fuck, what do we do? Our party got destroyed, essentially dismantled by the dragon, and we don't really have a lot of like money and like resources and stuff like that." So they decide to again go dungeon crawling to find the red dragon, but they also try to subsist on food uh trying to hunt and eat the dragons,
That's
or not eat
fire.
the dragons, the monsters in the dungeon.
Why are they dungeon meshing? You have to tell us why.
Yeah. So again, part of it is to save on money and costs, but second is that Laios has always been interested in like the ecology and like how the composition of monsters and how they taste and stuff like that. So because he's such like an addict, like a monster otaku, essentially, dungeon monster
Twisted fucking
otaku.
psychopath, I think you mean.
Yeah, to like a very creepy extent almost.
Fire. What's
He
wrong with licking an orc's sweat?
That is true. Yeah. You gotta taste it. You gotta find out. You never know until you have a bite. So Elias is super interested, and while he's trying out, some of the monsters that he caught, the party consisting of Laios, Marcial, and Chilchuk meet a dwarf named Senshi in this case, who is sort of like gourmand as well, and he has taken all this time to study the various monsters in the dungeon and how they can be prepared and eaten and stuff like that. And so they take a liking to him because he can make very good monster recipes, and they party up with them to try to chase down the red dragon, hopefully before the red dragon fully digests Laios's little sister Fallen, because apparently it takes about a month for the red dragon to fully digest human beings, and they want to kind of find her, and if she's dead, resurrect her before she gets fully digested and destroyed and disintegrated. So that's the whole plan. And so the general idea of the series is obviously there's the overarching plot of the party wants to wants to crawl around the dungeon enough to get to the red dragon and hunt the red dragon down and get out the little sister. But most of the story, other than sort of the slowly expanding like world lore building, as well as the slowly expanding cast members, is an episode by episode kind of here's a monster in the dungeon that we're crawling through. We catch the monster in some way, and then we make food out of it. So that's sort of the part of it. And if anybody, how there's always those like when people are talking about like Sakug and stuff like that, the Sakugas and Ghibli, especially with like Ghibli studios, there's always that, or Ghibli Studios, there's always that like scene of Howl's Moving Castle, the breakfast like bacon and eggs and stuff like that, and the ham. Anybody who loves that sort of like scene and that sort of food porn, has, if they've watched stuff like Kofuku Graffiti, if they like stuff like Shokugeki no Soma, whatever, if you do not watch this series, you cannot ever talk about loving these sorts of series, like food porn series, ever again. Like,
Oh yeah,
watch
that's
this
why.
now, or what? Yeah,
What about One Piece?
what about Piece?
Sanji
I think
Cookie's
that's a
great.
slightly different take. But like food porn in general, right? If you like food porn anime in general, and if you do not watch this series, shut the fuck up. You do not get the right to talk. You lose your human rights. Get out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You need to watch this fucking series. It is a requirement. It is not a privilege. You must watch this series. So, um,
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
Aspire.
like the
Name
yeah,
your favorite cooking. Your favorite Meshi
Meshi, my favorite one.
in that series.
I want to say honestly the omurice. I like the food porn of the omurice picture. To
Wow,
be honest,
this guy likes
it's like pretty
what is it?
standard.
Was it bat? Yeah, this guy likes bat
Yeah,
cookies.
bat omurice. Yeah,
A bad and one
My
drink.
yeah.
my favorite
I don't
is what about yours, Near? We should all go around and say our favorite.
Um, I like the mushroom.
Oh, that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
How about you, Dark?
Um, the Kelpie stew looked pretty good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I'm glad we all have different opinions. Mine's the
Yeah.
ice cream. Love those jewel
Oh,
bugs.
dude, I did
Yeah.
not know. That shit looked that shit was too much for me.
Yeah.
What's wrong with jewel bug exorcism ice cream?
Oh, actually, no.
But yeah.
The ice cream looked good. The sandwich Leos made was like fucked up looking.
But yeah, I just really, again, since I'm like one of those people that do like the food porn anime kind of stuff, I did like it a lot. And um I think it, again, a lot of it, kind of the descriptions and stuff like that, kind of end up like those Japanese TV shows that go to restaurants and then like they try the food and they do reviews on the spot where it's like, oh, I can feel the save or I can taste the savory, blah blah blah, and then they give reviews. I like that too because it's like cheesy and stuff like that. But I think in addition to that, what's important is that obviously there's like the trivia, which is nice, and the really well done visually like food porn, and they show also like the process of making it, right? It's not just, hey, by the way, omurice. It's like they show like the chopping up the bat, they show like the frying it or like the stewing and like drying it out and stuff like that, and the equipment and everything, and it's like really fun to watch for people that like that sort of like food porn anime kind of stuff. And on top of that, the sort of the manzai and the slapstick comedy part of the whole like, oh, I don't want to, I'm getting chased by this monster, help me, or like, um, I don't want to freaking eat bats, bro, like stuff like that is not only vibrant, but it's also again, save a lot of that is also kept alive very well by the voice actresses, Senbongi Sayaka and Co. But it's also kept pretty constant throughout the story, like the food and like the manzai slaps the comedy. And it's not like when drama appears, or when like a mini arc appears, or when they have to do like world building or whatever. It's not like the food and the comedy part disappears. Like for instance, what'll happen a lot of the time is especially with some authors, is that when it gets to like a serious portion or when it starts doing a lot of the statecraft or the politics or the world building, they'll have like 3 arcs worth of just serious, no laughs, no original theme kind of state building or statecraft and like it's kind of world building. And then they'll suddenly just be like, oh yeah, I forgot comedy filler episode, which is not really what I want because the original point of why I started watching this was the food and the comedy. But the fact that the original author keeps that a constant and like the backbone of the series is made it very good. And also the drama part is kept short and coherent. It's not like, oh, dragon, oh, what do we do? And it's like that's that for like 6 episodes. It's like, okay, here's the dragon. we should deal with it. Oh fuck, here's this like, climactic battle. Boom, we deal with this. Oh, there's a problem here. We deal with that. Blah blah blah. So it's not like, again, as I said, 5 episodes of introspection. It's like, can we really defeat this dragon? What what's gonna happen if you don't defeat it? Oh my god! And it's not like that. So I do like that it's kept succinct. Um, on top of all of that, I also do like again, these are all like pacing like issues in a sense, like if it doesn't work out, and the pacing of the author is very just like almost a masterwork, honestly. A master class in how to maintain pacing while also keeping in the themes, the original value of the series. The whole like expansion of the cast is a good sort of slow trickle while still limiting it to the main cast, so the main four cast can still like show off the cooking and all the preparation and their own character developments and stuff like that very well, which is nice. And again, like the drip feeding of the world lore is still pretty good. And because it's limited to the main cast and how they think about the dungeon and like the Meshi and the food and everything and about each other, the characters are allowed to develop in a very organic and a very proper way. And seeing Marcia's development with regards to the party and towards her idea, her prejudices against eating monsters and stuff like that, I really like seeing that development. I really like seeing, for instance, like Chilchuck's development too. Obviously, it's not as uh, uh, kind of big. Like the changes aren't as big as say Marcial's, but I do like how notable both of their character developments are and evolutions are throughout the series and throughout the continuation of the story. So all of these, just like the organic character development, the pacing, and the way that the drama is struck, the drama as well as the major plot of the story is balanced out with the food and the comedy part of it, I think is great. It's just again a master class, and combining a larger plot with a series that is centered around um primarily people just wanting to read food porn. So I really, really do like that. And the fact that it's such solid source material, and it's been made into more or less a pretty straight adaptation by Trigger, plus or minus maybe like stuff like truncations, stuff like that, is quite good. And it's just, there's really not much to complain about this. You have the food porn plus the trivia for whoever wants it. You have the comedy for whoever wants it. You have like the cute, Marcia like pouts and eating the food and stuff like that for whoever wants it. You have the character development and like the slight drama and stuff like that for whoever wants it. And this is all done under like an interesting theme of eating monster food in a dungeon, and we don't have to do this whole isekai, demon lore, battle academy, growth cheat, sports tournament, rebirth of the dragon heavens like anime in order to get all this organic character and like development out. So I really, 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 really do like almost everything about this series, from the original source material, the way it's written and paced out, and the characters, all the way to how Trigger adapted it. Just let it do its thing. Just do the straight adaptation, add the audio visuals, elevate it, boom, done. And I honestly think, I'm pretty much done talking about the series overall, but I honestly think that this is already a solid contender. Probably top 3 contender unless we see more surprises down the line for best anime of the year. Like straight up.
Yeah, pretty
It's a
easily.
very high, yeah.
Are
It's a
you
very
sure,
high
Spire?
hurdle
I don't
too.
know, Spire. I don't know if it'll make anime of the year.
I mean, I don't know.
Is
Obviously, there's still the rest of the year, right? It's still
It's gonna
March,
be
but
Jujutsu Kaisen season 5.
yeah,
Also,
man.
True.
Fucking
also,
Christ.
what is it? Free Run? Free Ren, what did Free Ren win any awards last year?
Free Run Part 2.
For what, the Crunchyroll
Yeah.
Awards? I
Yeah,
don't
Crunchyroll Awards.
think it.
Yeah,
I think it's
Jujutsu
beyond
Kaisen.
the cutoff.
Yeah,
point,
it's
right?
beyond
So
the
we'll
cutoff.
see
Yeah.
it. We'll see it next
So
year.
it's got to fight
Yeah.
against Free Ren. Also, the
I
plot.
mean, Free Ren's not gonna win because Jujutsu Kaisen is gonna win, as you said.
That's-
So
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
over.
Also, Spire isn't the plot just a rehash
No,
of
the new season of Demon Slayer is gonna win.
That's true.
isn't the
Wait,
plot
that's
just a rehash of Dungeons and Dragons: Shadows of Mystara?
I
And
don't know.
and by extension, because it's basically the same universe, Dragon's Dogma.
yeah.
And also Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also Baldur's Gate.
as if you remember,
Uh,
Dragon's Dogma is the spin-off that Capcom made, basically thanks to Shadows of Mystara.
yeah, and also any Shadowrun
And
campaign, and also
they
Yeah.
both have red dragons.
And also Cyberpunk.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they all have red dragons, and did you know even Monster Hunter World, red dragon?
Yeah, it even has it all on the cover,
Oh.
bro.
That's
It's
true,
done.
true.
It's over. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's very
Fire, there's no red dragon on Monster Hunter World, you liar.
no,
That's
I
not
meant
true. What are you talking
Shadow of
about?
Mystara.
Rathalos.
Oh yeah.
Rathalos is
Yeah.
a red
Oh,
dragon.
I mean, I was but Dark specifically, Rathalos is a wyvern. Safi Jiva is a real
That's
red
true.
dragon this
That's
time.
true. You just got fucking
Shit.
owned. You just got absolutely fucking dumpstered, dude.
Wait, but isn't the red
yeah.
dragon kind of a wyvern in Dungeon Meshi as well?
No, it has four
No,
legs, does it
yeah,
not?
it's got 4 legs, yeah.
Wyvern
Oh.
has
Oh
two
yeah, that's
two legs.
right. But doesn't
Dragons
the
have
dragon
4
not even
legs.
have wings? Dungeon Meshi
Huh?
did have wings? I don't even remember if
Yeah.
this thing had wings.
Yes.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Are you
But
gaslighting me?
yeah, but anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Whatever,
but
dude. They turned
again,
on the
No,
power
it doesn't.
couple
Oh
later
wow,
today.
it does not.
it
doesn't
doesn't.
have wings. I told
It does
you,
not.
I
told
thought it did.
you.
Yeah,
Then it would be a worm, wouldn't it?
No, it stands on 4 legs.
a great
It's a
worm. Yeah,
dragon.
but yeah.
Kind of a
Anyways,
dragon doesn't have wings.
it would be a wingless or dragon. It's like
Sorry,
one of
Nier.
those
Here, I'll post it.
Middle Earth
This
dragon.
is the worm
Ah.
Nier. Look at that
Wait,
worm.
worms have no legs, right?
No. Look at that worm.
But anyways, again, this conversation is neither here nor there, so I'll end it here. But I think again, definitely at least top third contender for anime of the year, unless we get surprised again, which could happen because last year, right, we were down on a lot of the anime during the seasons, and then we still ended up with like 6 contenders for anime of the year or something like that, right? So obviously it could happen, but I do think
Speak for
it's
yourself. Onimai
definitely
was the only one that was ever going to win for me.
That's true. But I do think this anime of the year contender easily. Trigger did a solid job at adapting this. Honestly, I think Trigger should just go into the White Fox.
Like I said, man, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Trigger
moment
should
I
just
like,
steal
got
White
through like
Fox.
2 episodes of this, I was like,
Don't you
Yeah.
mean? Don't
this
you
is
mean
what
that
they
Trigger
should
should
just keep
steal?
doing.
Trigger should
Yeah.
steal Bones because what is it? What was in your series?
Metallic Rouge.
Metallic Rouge kind of sucked. They should have the Metallic Rouge cast do Dungeon Meshi season 2. See how that works.
They should not do that.
I don't think that's a good idea. That would be so.
They must
not-
redeem
yeah.
themselves. Or maybe they should do a
I
Bubblegum
I think
Crisis
they should
remake.
redeem themselves in another series. That's not Dungeon Meshi.
Or
But,
Dirty
yeah.
Pair. Why not a Dirty Pair remake?
They should not do
I
that.
don't know. Yeah. Anyways, this Dungeon Meshi, I have nothing but solid words of praise
What's
for
your
it.
rating?
Um,
Or rather, who's your favorite character? You can't say Marcel. Because that's cheating.
What?
That's everyone's favorite
How is
character.
it cheating?
Who's your
You
favorite
like
character
name
that's
it?
not in the main party?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the name part. I don't know.
Well, if not in the main party, I like Kensuke.
I mean, if it's not in the main party, it would probably be
Kensuke is an
Namari,
integral
right?
part of the main party.
Yeah,
Damn, but that's
Namari,
fair.
yeah, Namari is good.
yeah. But anyways, the thing I want to say is that I try to reserve something like a 10 out of 10 for series that seriously most people would say push the bounds of animation and how it's valued um by itself. Again, something like Orange Studios Land of the Lustrous, right? Or something that very accurately and represents the zeitgeist, right? The modern zeitgeist, like Oshinoko, right? So it's very like it has to go above and beyond the current bounds of animation storytelling, or what are the current trends in animation storytelling, as well as audio visuals. Um, Again, maybe something like another one would be something like Koe no Katachi, right? So even if it's like something fancy and flashy like Kimi no Na or whatever, that will not receive 10 out of 10 from me. And indeed, I said, it was not the best of series or movies, anime movies. And despite me having really no complaints about Dungeon Meshi at all, I would give this a 9 out of 10.
Oh
The
yeah,
re-
name a
my,
10.
and name a 10?
He did.
Uh, yeah, I literally
Named a
just named
few,
2 10.
actually.
Yeah,
Name them
yeah,
again.
yeah.
This time different ones.
No. So the reason why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, again, half of it's from, unfortunately, I don't think it goes above and beyond. Obviously, it elevates the original medium beyond its original source and gives the anime more reason to be watched, right? And it's not just like promotion material for the manga. So, but it's not
How can
going
it promote
above.
the manga? It's already over.
Well, you can promote
Yeah.
other people to be
Everyone
like,
knows
Still
once
buy
one
it,
read the
bro.
once the
manga. Yeah.
manga
Why
ends,
why
they
didn't you
take it
why
off the
didn't you read
shelves
the manga
actually.
when it ended?
Yeah,
It's li- it's
why would you ever read a completed manga? That's
yeah,
true.
it's limited edition. The window of
Yeah.
excitement has expired.
Once the manga ends, it dies in real life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Once
it's
you
done, man. They pull it. They pull it from
you
Saturn.
can only read things when they're trendy. Once the
Yeah,
trend is
yeah,
over,
exactly.
like you're a fucking loser. At this point,
Yeah.
if you read the
Just
Dungeon
pack
Meshi
it up.
manga, like it's
You're an
over.
Poser.
idiot.
Like
You're
you
an
Poser.
might as
idiot.
well
You're
just ban in
stupid.
all of your friend groups because they're all gonna hate you. They're all gonna think you're an idiot. They're all gonna think you're
Poser,
stupid.
nerd, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
FOMO is real, Spire, and it's the most
Yeah,
important
that's
thing in the
true.
world, other than clout. Clout
Yeah.
and FOMO are what makes up modern society.
What drives the world, yeah.
Oh yeah,
uh Surprisingly true. But yeah, so
I
I have
hate
to
that
take off.
that's true.
Yeah, I do want to take half a point off because again, it doesn't push the boundaries of animation. As again, that's a very high hurdle, but some series have done it. Um, and the other half is I will probably take a half point off for um the OPED because while obviously they're perfectly functional, it's not again something that goes really just like above and beyond something like a free rent ED or something like that, or or something like a live not even live class, but something on the level of a supercell like Kimi no Shinanai Monogatari, something like that, right? That would be what I would consider like full on like above and beyond. So again, this is not. I have nothing really negative to say about Dungeon Meshi. I want to make this clear, but I only reserve
yeah, but it
tens for
sucks. We
me.
get it. Yep.
Yeah, but fuck you.
Fire
But
fucking
it does.
hates it. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
GG. Yeah, we should just like have this what is it? The title of our YouTube thing be Dungeon Meshi is good, but dot dot dot. That would be the full clickbait. But yeah,
But
that's just how my brain thinks.
Spire, Spire, me and Dark talked about this earlier, but have you seen Dragon Dogma 2 cooking?
Oh
I don't
yeah, it's
know.
just the FMV or whatever. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the
it's fucking
yeah,
awesome.
it's just a video of the steak being cooked. Yeah, that's But yeah, that's all I have to really say about Dungeon Meshi. This is anime of the year thing, unless you hate food porn anime for some whatever reason.
Or
Go
you hate
watch this
elves.
series. Yeah, you hate elves, you hate cute stuff, you hate good voice acting, you
You
hate
hate
good
dwarves.
visuals.
Do you think
Yeah.
bulimic people would like Dungeon Meshi?
That's a good question. They
Funny.
just look at it and they're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, go watch the series. Go watch the series. Go watch the series. And it is again Dungeon Meshi, also known as Delicious in Dungeon, trigger adaptation of a very popular manga original. So please do check this out.